Welcome to the Billy Shultz Music Podcast.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm Billy. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Nicole. And I saw some of your videos and you're an awesome guitar player.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. It's great to be on with you.
No worries. Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me. If you want to just kick it off, just introduce yourself for anybody who's going to watch. Just kind of, tell everyone who you are, where you're from, what you do.
Yeah, sure thing. Well, my name is Nicole Alexis. I am a singer, songwriter, producer, artist, multi-instrumentalist. I kind of play a little bit of everything. And I just started releasing music under my own project, but I've been kind of in the producing songwriting world more so. And so now I'm just kind of letting my artist project shine. And I'm originally from New Orleans, but right now I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. So kind of all over the place, but it's been fun. So
Nice. How long have you been doing music? I mean, since you were younger, did you pick it up when you were young, or did you start as you got older?
yeah, I mean, so when I was 5 years old, I decided I wanted to play something. I really wanted to play drums. And so my mom was like, okay, cool. So we went to the music store and they're like, oh no, you're too young to play drums. You should probably start with piano. And I was like, okay, cool. So I picked up piano lessons and they were like, okay, I kind of picked it up by ear. I didn't read any music or anything like that. Also, like 5 years old, you kind of get like a little impatient with all that. So I was just kind of like, okay. I picked it up pretty quick and then moved on to drums. Had a fun time with drums, but kind of got a little bored of it because I'm like, you can't really play a song on the drums. You kind of have to have like, you're kind of the background of the song. So then, moved to guitar. And then from there, I don't think there's a day I put it down ever since. So it's kind of been, it's been so far 20 years, I want to say, that I've been playing guitar and drums and piano and all that. So
You had the music lessons for piano. Did you do any lessons for any other instruments?
No, I did do guitar lessons for a little bit. But there was a point where I would rather go on YouTube and learn how to play a song versus go sit in a 30-minute guitar lesson. So
Right. Well, and that's the easiest, most like gratifying thing is to just learn what you want to play from the internet,
Yeah, exactly. And it's like as soon as you have a song you want to play, you want to be able to play it now, not later.
Right. You're not worried about
Tuesday at 2:00.
Right. And you're not worried about what a scale is when you're first starting. You're like, I just want to play this song.
Right. Yeah.
Do you have any formal education? Like, did you go to college for music or anything like that? Or
I went to college for marketing. I wanted to go. I went to Florida Atlantic University, and they have a pretty good music business program there. And I really wanted to get into it, but my dad was like, my dad's in also marketing. He was like, you should probably do marketing because if you learn, how to do the business side on your own, you could probably learn how to market your own music down the road if that's what you want to continue to do. So I thought that was really good advice. And so I took it, went to school for marketing, graduated in 2018. And I mean, that's probably the best thing I could have done for my music career, honestly.
has that helped you like in what you're doing right now?
Yeah, totally. I took a lot of just digital marketing classes, especially for like running digital ads and all that stuff. And right out of college, I started my own company where I just ran social media for other brands and did all their digital advertising. And I kind of got to see the background of the digital side of things. So since I started doing my artist project and all that, I was able to kind of use all that into my own platforms, and it's working really well. So
Are you?
That was great.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Are you still doing the digital marketing, the company that you started, or are you just solely into the music now?
I'm solely in the music. It's my heart and soul, and kind of every day. That's all I think about. So full time into music. I do a lot of like artist demos, and have some pretty big cuts coming out soon. And then playing shows and all that. So
Sure. Yeah, I saw that you had linked up with Kid G. How did you link up with him? Like, did you know him prior, or did you just meet him? Like, how did you guys link up?
so this is kind of a long story. But my husband actually he we met because we were both into music. I played guitar in his band, and he was the lead singer. And once we started dating, we wanted to do like this duo project where we were like both just writing music together and put music out. And he had like a really big network of producers and stuff that he would work with. And one of his good friends, Zen, is a producer. He's worked for some pretty big records like Lil Wayne and YNW Melly and stuff like that. And so we've been connected for a while, and I send him guitar loops all the time, and he kind of sends me some tracks that needs a little bit of organic elements. So he connected. He's like, "Hey, I got this country guy that I'm producing a record for. Are you interested in like adding some guitars to it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, that sounds awesome." And so he sent me the record. I added some guitars, and ever since then we're kind of like the power duo for that kind of sound. So we've connected. I think we've had 3 songs with Kids so far. And then we're still working on a couple more, so we're excited for that.
Are you working with more of the artists that because I did find his Instagram, and I was checking out his Instagram as well for Zen, I think you're saying his name was.
Mm-hmm.
So you're working directly with him with just kind of the artists that he's working with as well?
Yeah. He'll hit me up and be like, "Hey, do you have any country style guitar loops, pop guitar loops, whatever it is." He'll ask me for loops, and then we'll kind of go, like, we do a lot remotely. We just send stuff back and forth, which is awesome. But just recently we were in the studio with Kid a couple times, and we just have such a good connection. Like he's good at what I'm not, and I'm good at the organic stuff. So
Right. And do you record all the live stuff there at your place, or do you have a studio you go to?
I record everything here. I love my gear. Like, I'm such a gear nerd. It's so bad. Sweetwater probably. I'm probably like a loyal member there.
I know the feeling. Yes, I know the feeling.
Yeah, no, but I record everything here. And I just use my Slate mic and whatever else I need. All the plugins and stuff nowadays, it's just so easy to record wherever you need to.
Right. And I mean, essentially anything that you are recording, if, like if you're doing drums, if something needs to be replaced, you can do that, in studio, or, in a DAW. Same thing with like guitar. If you're doing like line in, you can kind of make those edits the way that you need to. It's become so easy at home now.
Totally. Yeah. And being able to collaborate with people that I'm in Nashville a lot, because Nashville is only 3 hours from me. So it's really easy to get up there. But even when I'm not there, it's just like so easy to just come in the studio and record whatever I need and then send it over, versus getting studio time and having to pay that studio fee and everything. So
yeah, I don't know if you're like me, but that's the reason why I learned how to record, is because I just couldn't afford to go to a studio. And I was like, if I'm paying this money to go to a studio, why don't I just buy the equipment myself and learn how to use it?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people had that same mindset of like, studio time's expensive. It's great, but we can learn how to do this on our own kind of thing.
Totally. And the studio too, I feel like when you like are actually in a session and stuff, probably half the time is spent, just talking and catching up, and, probably not working the whole time. So,
Yeah, it's more about the environment for sure.
Yeah,
Like, it's about being in a creative space because there's benefits of being in the studio, right? With other artists and like you have the creative space and, you're able to actually work one-on-one with each other. But, someone like you who can just lay down a guitar loop or, lay down a drum loop for something, it's like, there's no point in paying for studio time for that anymore.
totally.
Do you,
Yeah.
are you, so you play, multiple instruments have you practiced each one of those individually? Like, do you set aside practice time for those, or is it just like you are playing them so much now with what you're doing that like you don't really need to set aside dedicated practice? You're just playing them all the time anyway.
It depends on what kind of my mode is. Usually day to day, I'm solely focused on writing and recording. But when I have like a show coming up, then I'll set aside time to practice. But most of the time, it's just like, aside from the drums, I really enjoy like practicing the drums. There's something about putting on the big headphones and just like cranking a classic rock song and then just like banging the drums. But otherwise, like I'll only kind of practice when I have something coming up. That's definitely not the best thing to do, but yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at.
No, totally understand it. Totally understand it. I wanted to talk to you about the Paul Reed Smith sponsorship that you said that you got. How did that come about? Did you contact them? Did they contact you?
No, we have a family friend who kind of made the connection, and so they contacted me and they were like, hey, please send like a portfolio or just like a deck that is kind of just lays out everything that you do. And I just, told them like in the deck that my very first guitar when I think it was like 7 or 8 years old was a PRS. And ever since then, like I've tried every other guitar and they've just always been my go-to. So it just kind of, it was a really good fit. I grew up just listening to John Mayer and playing his whole albums all the way from start to finish. And so it was a really good fit in the sound and the feel of their guitars. And so it was super cool that I get to see some of their new releases coming out, kind of play them before they're dropped. So that's been super cool.
Nice. So you are doing your solo project now. Was that something that like you, because it seems like you've been playing music for a while. Have you always been writing your own music, or is that something that you just started to do recently, or you're just starting to release it recently? Or
I've always written music. I wrote my first song when I was 5 years old on a napkin, and I don't know what the song. It was something about dolphins. I don't know what. I don't want to know what it sounded like, but I just always wrote music, and it never took it seriously. It was always just something that was just kind of like, it was like writing in a journal. Like it feels good to get some things out. But I just started taking it seriously once I kind of made all the connections with the producers and songwriters that I know now. And I realized that you can make it as a songwriter and you can release your own music, especially with like TikTok and Instagram the way it is now. It's like easier than ever to just like put yourself out there and, get legit fans and people streaming your music. So that's probably what was the most eye-opening, is to see like friends who would put music out and then post it on TikTok, and then all of a sudden they're like a viral song. So
yeah, you never know. I mean, this day and age, not putting yourself out there is doing yourself a big disservice, because it can be any video, it could be any song, it could be any clip that you put on TikTok or Instagram, or and it goes viral, and then next thing you know, that's how artists are found now.
Yeah, you never know, and I feel like a lot of times too, if you have a viral song, you really never know who is going to use it, like as a sound or like as a Sync is now using a lot of TikTok viral songs too, like in commercials and movies and all that sort of stuff. So so I'm kind of just testing a little bit of everything. I have country songs, pop songs, like islandy type songs that are all kind of going to be testing the market, and especially going back to the marketing roots, just kind of seeing what works.
Sure. Yeah, and your recent single is called Rounds, and it released in July, right? Will you describe like the influence and the inspiration behind the song and just the whole process of recording it?
Yeah, totally. Rounds is one of the only songs so far that I have co-writers on. So I wrote that one with my friend Brett Kulick and Shane, and we were just kind of hanging out in the living room, and we're just talking about, because my friend Brett Kulick is also an artist, and we're just talking about different things in music. And he said something like, "Oh, it'd be awesome to write a song about like buying around for the whole town, because when you grow up in a certain town, whether you went to high school or whatever, and then eventually grow up and move away, go to college, the people that end up moving away, like you always like miss your home base, your hometown, and so when you come back, like you're always like super." Excited to be back, and you want to hang out with all your friends and stuff. So that was kind of the idea for the song. And he said, yeah, let's, write a song about buying around for the whole town. And at the time I was like, oh yeah, that's a cool idea. And then, we kind of just put it aside. And then one day I was just like, I just started singing like I'm buying rounds for the whole town in my head. And then, I was probably like a random, I don't know what I was, probably like cooking or something. And then, I sent Brett the voice memo, and he's like, oh, that's so cool. We have to write this. And so the next time I saw him, we sat down and wrote it. And then I went back, I produced the demo, and then I cut it. And we were originally, writing it to pitch to other artists. We had some country artists in mind, but after sharing it with a bunch of just friends and family, they're like, no, you got to put that song out. It's a great song. I don't really hear anybody else on it, so I was like, okay, I'll put it out, see how it does, and so far so good.
Yeah, it seems to be being received pretty well. I listened to it, thought it was a jam. There's something about, thinking, especially when you move away and to pursue something like a music career, and you have that thought of like, I would love to be successful and be able to come back home and, treat everybody who like kind of helped me come up, like you said, like the home base. So, did you record it all at your place there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I recorded the drums were digital. Logic stock drums where I just kind of played it on my pads. And then, yeah, everything else was recorded here. I have my Apollo Twin, the Slate mic, and then I sent it off to my buddy Taylor. He's up in Nashville. He's a really awesome mixer, and he does some really great drum work. So I sent it over to him. He spiced some things up and mixed the record, and then I put it out. And so far so good. But everything was done here. No studio or anything like that.
And are you working? I'm assuming you're working on. You got more songs that are in the works. Are you thinking about an album, or are you just focus on singles? Like, what's your plan for the solo project?
Yeah. For the rest of the year, I'm just going to be dropping singles. But 2023, I have an album planned, and so all the singles throughout the rest of the year are going to be a little different. Just seeing what people kind of gravitate to the most, whether it's country, pop, and then the album will be kind of dependent on which songs kind of do have the best feedback.
Gotcha. So you're waiting to see what people like to hear from you most before you kind of like decide how you're molding the overall sound of the project. Totally.
And for the next couple releases, it's going to be a little more instrumentally driven. The last couple songs I had were just kind of like a little more of the commercial vibe, and so now I'm gonna be a little more instrumental with a couple of the next couple songs. So that'll be exciting. There's nothing better than a solid melodic guitar solo. So
Absolutely. Yeah, no, and we don't get those. I mean, we don't get those very much anymore, not at least not in mainstream music. So, it'll be awesome to hear what you come out with. And maybe with your marketing degree, you might know a little bit more about this. I feel like we're in the day and age of it's almost better to go single by single. Like if you want to write a whole album, if that's just what your thing is and you have, something you want to say and build it that way, I think that's great. But do you think we're in the day and age of the single, right? Like you just need the clip for TikTok and Instagram and the music video and, give people that kind of like instant gratification as opposed to, people who aren't really listening to full length albums anymore. Like, do you think it's the single with them is better to market than an album, if that makes sense?
yeah, totally. I think if you there is something to say about an album where you're not gonna have hyper focus on every song on an album, but it's gonna be like more if you listen from start to finish, you're gonna get like a full picture and a full story versus a single. You're really, you have to be super focused and really want a single to work. So I think the single strategy is definitely better in trying to kind of figure out your sound. And, again, with TikTok and everything like that, it's just a lot easier to promote a single and get people to convert to a listener compared to like, you have 10 songs that you're trying to promote. Which song is going to be the one that people stick to? And so that's why I think singles for now are the way to go. But I mean, albums are just kind of like a more, a bigger story. And so I think eventually once you have enough content on your page and everything, that's a good way to go, just to get people to know a little more about who you are and what your sound is.
Yeah, and I guess it depends on your fan base too, right? Like if you have some devout listeners who would listen to an album front to back, that's a little bit different as opposed to like an up and coming artist that is like kind of trying to flesh out their sound, right?
Totally. And I don't know how much, that goes with the different demographics of like your audience too. Like if you're a younger artist, I'm 26. I'm not super young, but I'm not old. But there are some like 18-year-olds that are really crushing it on TikTok, where their audience might not be interested in going to listen to a full album, whereas somebody maybe my age or older, they are a little more interested in doing something like that. I'm not sure how the metrics are for the different demographics, but I feel like the younger, more Gen Z crowd, they're looking for like that instant gratification, like you said, and they just want to hear like clips and not gonna sit through a whole album.
Sure. How are you? Because like I see that you're posting a lot of Instagram content. Are you the stuff that you're posting on your Instagram? Are you posting it across? I'm assuming you're posting it like on TikTok, on Facebook, YouTube. Do you kind of post across all platforms, or are you solely focused on Instagram?
So it started off, I was like only going to focus on TikTok, and that was going to be my way to go. And I started posting on TikTok and I would get, 500,000 views here, 300,000 there. But it was so random. Like there was not, I could have two of the same videos and one do better on Tuesday and the one that I post on Wednesday has like 1,000 views, whatever it is. And so because of that, I was, and the amount, the quantity of content you have to post on TikTok is crazy. Like it's like 3-4 times a day now. And so, it started doing really well on TikTok. And then I was like, oh, I'll just post my TikTok content to Instagram. And then as soon as I did that, like, Instagram started kind of blowing up, because they're adapting to the very old TikTok algorithm. When TikTok first started, they were kind of prioritizing their smaller creators. now TikTok's prioritizing like their bigger creators, and it's harder for smaller creators to grow, whereas like Instagram now is the way to go if you're really trying to grow, like you would on TikTok like 2 years ago. So I do cross promote my content. I posted on like the YouTube Shorts, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that. But Instagram so far has been the best way to move the needle a little bit, just because of the quantity on TikTok. I try to post or create content like on Monday. I'll create like 7 videos and then post it throughout the week. That way I'm not like stressing every day about which video I'm going to post. But it's still a lot.
Yeah, no, I mean, creating content is, I didn't even know you said for TikTok, the algorithm is expecting you to post 3 to 4 times a day.
Yeah. And I don't know the reason for it. I just know they want to see like the consistency of 1, and then 2, they don't know, like you never know which one's going to blow up. So it's like if you post 3 videos a day, you increase your chances, versus if you post 1 a day, then like you just never know.
Sounds insane. I mean, I'm doing almost a video a day, and even that sometimes feels like I'm like, what the hell? Like, I need a life kind of thing. So I can imagine thinking of, 3 times that amount of content. It's that's wild. But so with your Instagram, I know that you've passed 100,000 followers. Has that been kind of like steady traction, or was there something that happened that you saw like boosted your like your follower count and your engagement, kind of like a specific thing, or has it just been consistent?
So in May was really when it started to growing. For like the past year, I've been posting consistently every single day, like a reel a day. And they've all been short, like, 7 seconds, 10 seconds. But nothing really moved for a while. And I'm like, this isn't good. This isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. It's kind of like, am I wasting my time just like making all these videos? And then I don't know what happened, but one video in May just like it like got 100,000, and I was like, okay, that's good. And so ever since then, I started posting every single day, and since May, it's been very very steady. It goes in waves. It'll go from like I was getting like 2,000-3,000 a day. From May to June, and then I would get like 5,000 a day, and then I'd get like 2,000 a day, and then it's kind of all over the place. But it has been like a pretty steady growth since then. And now past 100,000, I'm able to like really see what works.
And so back in May, was it like did you post something different that started to blow up, or like was it still just? That's so confusing.
I know. That's the crazy thing. It's all been the same content. I try to focus on like highly engaging content where it's like I ask a question, and that usually gets like the highest engagement. But yeah, I mean, nothing changed from the day before where I posted a video, and then the next day I think it was like like Stairway to Heaven or something like that.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah. And then, I guess maybe because it was such a crowd pleaser, like who doesn't know Stairway to Heaven? And so.
Right. Yeah. It's so confusing because I just started, I've been posting to YouTube for years now, but, I've just made the switch to where I'm also posting across TikTok and Instagram, and because I knew I wanted to do that for a while, but I was also, my main thing was tutorials. So I was like, how do I optimize this for like Instagram and TikTok? And so like, I've just started finding different kinds of content to create for those. So I've been posting, and it's like Instagram does seem to be the one where like I'm getting the more traffic, but it's so hit and miss. Like you said, it's hard to find out, okay, why did this video get 4,000 views in the first 30 minutes it was posted, and then now has got 100 views in the last day? Like that. Yeah. I don't understand the algorithm at all, but I was wondering if you had any kind of insight, like, you know, knowing the marketing background, if you have any more of like an insight or like a reason for that. I know you said that Instagram is trying to follow the older TikTok model. Is that more so just what it is?
I think so. And I think right now they're prioritizing watch time. So like keeping videos super short is important. And then also posting it to your page so that when people if you do have followers, they see your post first and then they'll like comment and stuff on it.
Gotcha. And
So it's so random though, because like sometimes I'll post a video and it'll like the first day it'll get 10,000, and then sometimes it'll get like 1,000, and then like the next week it'll get like 100,000. It's just so all over the place.
it makes it really hard to know what people really want to see, right? Because it can be so random. So it's like, you know, why did that get so many views in the first day as opposed to within a week, and then why did this one get so many more views in a week but got nothing the first day? It makes it so hard to you know, to really focus on what is working because it seems to be very random and sporadic. But are you using like the social media side of it to help I'm assuming you're using it to help promote your music, but how are you like finding time to do the two? I know you say on Mondays that you make your content for the week. Are you is that kind of like your thing, and then the rest of the week you focus on the solo project, or like how are you finding time to do both?
Yeah, most of my week is here in the studio. So like Mondays I'll set it's very like scheduled out where I have my content day, then I'll have my writing day, then I'll have my demo day, and I kind of go like that. But there are times where like I'll have an idea like, oh, this is a cool video idea, then I'll like film it and then just kind of put it in my drafts for like a later time. But yeah, I mean, it's just I feel like if you bulk record stuff, it makes it so much easier. But there are times where like I'm out and like I have my little guitar Lele, this like the 6 string like mini guitar, and it would just make a cool video. So I try to capture things in different locations too to keep things interesting. And I'm not like in the same room all the time. But it definitely, anytime I post something where I'm like in a different location, it definitely spikes a little bit. That, or if I'm playing like a different instrument, it's just I think people want to see variety too. If I'm constantly playing guitar for a week in my videos, I think it kind of gets a little dull. So I try to keep it as interesting as possible.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Are you so I know that you said that you're working you know, you're coming out with some singles. What else do you have like in the future coming up? I know you're still working on some songs with Kid G. Is that kind of your focus, is like social media, your music, and like co-writing, or like what are you looking forward in the future?
My focus right now is really my artist project. So yeah, it's just social media content, releasing music, playing shows. I do have some really exciting cuts coming out with some bigger artists, but I'm not kind of like seeking not really seeking co-writes and production out for other artists. I'm more so focused on my project. So that's
Yeah.
kind of where I'm headed.
Sure. Yeah. Do you have any upcoming shows like that are in the near future, or do you have a release date for any new singles that are coming out?
Yeah, so in October I'll be playing a festival called the Wire and Wood Songwriters Festival here in Atlanta. And then I just have a couple rounds up in Nashville coming up. And then my next single I'll be uploading today actually. So that should be 4 weeks out.
Oh yeah.
So that's exciting.
Well, if you're ever out in LA playing a show, hit me up. I'll come and I'll come support for sure.
Oh yeah, we'll have to jam too.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we should. Absolutely. I would love to collaborate and, you know, write some stuff at some point in the future. That'd be cool.
Yeah, what part of LA are you at?
I'm in North Hollywood, so I'm like, you know, depending on traffic, 10 minutes or an hour from downtown.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm in North Hollywood, so I'm pretty familiar with the whole. I've been out here for a few years now, so I'm pretty familiar with the whole area. There's actually a like a professional rehearsal studio like within walking distance from my apartment that I go to a lot. So yeah, if you're ever out in the area, hit me up. We'll jam for sure.
Sweet. Yeah, I bet the weather's pretty nice over there right now.
Oh man, it's perfect right now. I mean, it's 75 and sunny all the time, pretty much.
Jeez. Yeah, I gotta get out there.
It's beautiful for sure. Well, look, do you have any? You want to like drop your like website or social medias, or like where can people work in social medias? Wow, I sound like a boomer. Social media, or like any where people can find you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm everywhere under Nicole Alexis Music, so that's my website, my Instagram, TikTok, and all that stuff. So it's just Nicole Alexis Music, and then Spotify, Nicole Alexis. So stay in touch, and I'll send out some updates for upcoming shows and songs and all that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. It's been awesome.
Sweet. Thanks for having me. And yeah, keep up what you're doing, especially on like YouTube and stuff. It's awesome.
Thanks. I appreciate it. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. And we kind of have to as musicians, right? Like we got to have our hand in like 10 different things, it feels like.
Yeah, I just had that conversation the other day where it's like, you're not a musician, you're a video editor, you're a writer, you're a producer, you're an engineer, you're everything. So
yep, jack of all trades. Absolutely.
Yeah, totally. So keep it up, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks again for taking the time, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Sure thing. Awesome. Thanks.